Welcome to Passport for Wellness. Today's excursion will start in 1 minute. Enjoy the sights and sounds of today's Passport for Wellness destination. Welcome to Passport for Wellness. Today's excursion starts now.
Well, hello there. Looks like you're ready to do some traveling today. I'm your conductor, Hank, and I am just thrilled that you'll be traveling with us today. Before we get started, make sure you have enough space around you so you can move freely without bumping into another traveler. That also means having your own chair to sit in when needed, as well as the person's chair in front of you to use for balance when standing. Make sure you have enough space to walk in place and to stretch your arms out wide and move from side to side. If you plan on sitting throughout our excursion, make sure you have enough space to move your legs and to stretch out your arms and move from side to side. Just follow along with what you see on the screen at a comfortable pace. If you're sitting, make sure you follow along with what you see in this special box. Be sure to slow down or stop at any point if you feel lightheaded or dizzy. Only participate if you feel confident and comfortable moving your body throughout our travels. So, where are we headed today? The City of Lights, the capital city of France, the home of fashion and cuisine, as well as many memorable museums and landmarks. That's right. It's Paris, or should I say, Gay Paris. Why, I went to Paris myself one time. Of course, I was much younger back then. Thanks for joining me today. My name is Henry, and I'm so excited to be here with you in Paris, France, standing along the famous left bank of the Seine River. Come on, everyone, walk along with me. Let's take a stroll down along the Seine. Just walk in place with me, or keep your legs moving while staying in your seat. Move your arms like I am as well. That's the spirit. The left bank of the Seine River, or La Rive Gauche, was home to many famous artists, writers, and philosophers. Some you might know, like Matisse, Picasso, Hemingway, Gertrude Stein, and F. Scott Fitzgerald. Today, it's still a gathering place for artists and thinkers, as well as for tourists and travelers like us. It's also a good place to come across a mime artist. That's actors and performers who use pantomime and act out scenes without talking. In fact, the word mime comes from the Greek word mimos, meaning imitator or actor. Hey, maybe we could try to be a mime. Stop for a second. Okay, let's swing our arms like we're doing the backstroke. If you're sitting, you can kick your legs too. That's it. You catch on fast. We can also push our arms out in front and do the breaststroke. This makes me think of an old swimming hole I would go to as a kid. What was your favorite swimming spot? Being a mime means helping people guess what you are acting out also. Like this, see if you can guess who I am. Could you guess what I was? That's right, a tourist. I had my map, then I was taking pictures. Say, cheese. Whoops, we're in Paris. Say, fromage. Let's get our feet moving again now that we're on the famous avenue Champs-Élysées. It's the wide boulevard in Paris where they have big parades. It's also where they hold the final stage of the Tour de France, the most famous bicycle race in the world. I've got an idea. Let's sit down and pedal like we would riding a bicycle. That's it. Keep those legs moving, but pace yourselves. The Tour de France is a long race, but not as long as some French language films are. The Tour de France is the granddaddy of bike races. Cyclists from around the world come to France to compete in the 23-day-long race. While the course varies each year, it's always over 2,000 miles long, and it always ends with a sprint down this very street in Paris on the last day. Hey, ready for a little challenge? Let's pedal like it's the end of the race. They call that a sprint. So let's pick up the pace for those who want to sprint to the finish line. Oh, it's neck and neck. Keep pedaling, and you did it. Great job. Woo! Let's just coast for a while. Feet up though. There you go. I haven't pedaled that hard in a long time. How about you? Where do you remember pedaling your bike really fast? Maybe it was on the way home from school, racing with your friends. Boy, that's always fun. Okay, let's start walking again. We've got a big city to see today. Did you know that the Champs-Élysées runs past a famous monument called the Arc de Triomphe? It's a monument that honors all the people who fought and died for France in the French Revolution and the Napoleonic Wars. Okay, here's a quick quiz, and keep moving if you're feeling good. Which was first, the American Revolution or the French Revolution? Okay, do you know? If not, just take a guess. The answer is the American Revolution. The French Revolution was some 20 years later. So here we are at the Arc de Triomphe. It is so big that after the victory parade in Paris to celebrate the end of World War I, a pilot flew his biplane right through the arch. Seriously, he really did. I know that seems like that would be impossible until you realize that the arch is over 150 feet tall. That's as high as a 15-story building. Okay, it's now time to march. Let's get those knees up, just like we are really marching. That's because the Arc de Triomphe was commissioned by none other than the Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte. Yep, that Napoleon. The arch was built in the heyday of Napoleon's reign, when he ruled over most of Europe, extending all the way from Spain to the border of Russia. But things began to turn sour for Napoleon and the Empire of France when he marched on Russia against the advice of his generals, many of whose names are listed here on the Arc de Triomphe. Nobody walks under the arch because below it lies the tomb of the unknown soldier. Both conquerors and liberators of Paris have observed this custom and treated the monument with respect for those interned beneath its vaults. Wow, you guys are doing swell, and we're making great time. While they say all roads lead to Rome, in Paris, all the major avenues lead right here to the Arc. The Arc de Triomphe is a national monument of France. Maybe you've been to some other major monuments. Oh, what was the biggest monument that you've ever visited? Let's think about it for a while we keep marching. Mine would have to be the Washington Monument. Oh, it was the biggest thing I'd ever seen as a kid. Besides my Aunt Kate's hairdo. Wow, you are doing great on our trip to Paris. We've already been to the Left Bank, the Champs-Élysées, and the Arc de Triomphe. But there's plenty of Paris still to see. So maybe it's time for a little rest. Believe me, we've earned it. So have a seat or keep marching if you'd like. Either way, it's time to bivouac. That's make a temporary camp. It's French. Now's also a good time to grab a drink of water if you need one, or make plans to have a drink of water after we finish our journey together today. Either way, we'll be back in just a minute. We are exploring the famous City of Lights, Paris, France, and we still have lots to see and do. So let's start walking in place, moving our arms and legs, just like we did before. Right now, we're in front of the great cathedral of Notre Dame in Paris, one of the finest examples of French Gothic architecture, and one of the largest and well-known church buildings in the entire world. It's also the literary home to Quasimodo, the Hunchback of Notre Dame, written by none other than Victor Hugo, who was the bell ringer. Hey, let's all reach up high and pull down with our arms like we are ringing the bells at Notre Dame. There you go. Come all the way down to just above your chair, just like that. The cathedral has 10 bells, each one a different size, so it can sound a different note. The largest bell in Notre Dame is called Emmanuel and weighs almost 30,000 pounds. That's nearly 15 tons. Keep ringing. The bell is 8.5 feet wide and sounds a super low note, E flat. Notre Dame was one of the first buildings in the world to use flying buttresses or arch supports on the outside of the building. Kind of like when we lean up against the wall to take a load off our feet. I don't know about you, but I'm about wrung out. We can now say that we rang the bells at Notre Dame. Okay, let's take a break. Wow, that bell ringing reminds me of the first time I ever remember hearing a church bell. What was the first time you could remember hearing a church or a clock tower bell ringing? A place just outside Paris that has all the bells and whistles is the Palace of Versailles, one of the most famous palaces in the world. While the place is extraordinary on the inside, it's even more famous for its ornate gardens and statues outside. So, let's walk through the gardens of Versailles. And when we come across a statue, let's try to strike the same pose and hold it. Oh, okay, like this one. Use your chair to help with your balance and strike the pose. The Palace of Versailles was built by King Louis XIV, France's famed Sun King. And now, let's do the other side. There you go. You know, being a statue is harder than it looks. Almost done. And excellent. And we're moving on now, walking through the gardens of Versailles. Oh, here's one. Looks a little on the difficult side. Yeah, I think we'll skip that one. Oh, here's one. Let's do this one instead. Everyone ready? And strike a pose. The gardens at Versailles include 11 main fountains, all with water cascading over incredible statues from Greek and Roman mythology. In fact, they even built a canal for the king to sail his own ship at Versailles. Great posing, everyone. That took some balance. So now, let's take a load off our seats, that is. Oh, this is going to be fun. Sit down and place your hands on either side of your chair. Then straighten your arms to press your torso and backside up off the chair. Yeah, like this. And back down. And up again. The strain you're feeling in your arms is the same force that fed water into the gardens and fountains of Versailles. And down. One more time. And up. The weight of the water and the pull of the gravity moved it through the different elevation levels of the immense gardens and grounds surrounding Versailles and down. Nice going, everyone. Now you know what it took to work a hydraulic pump to push the water back to the top of the reservoir, way before they had electricity. I guess you could say it's good to be king. So great lifting, everyone. Now, let's take a moment to soak in some of this outdoor goodness. Let's take a deep breath in. Ready? And blow it all the way out. And again. And exhale. And one more time. Breathe in. And let it all out. Let's stand up and get moving again. Wow. Versailles is both an indoor and outdoor palace. You know, everyone talks about the treasures inside, but now we could tell them all about the magnificent gardens outside as well. Boy, taking deep breaths really clears the mind. So let's see if you can answer this trivia question, but let's keep those arms and legs moving. Versailles is the world's largest royal domain, figuring in both the palace and the grounds. So how many courtiers do you think it could handle back in its heyday? 2,000, 4,000, or 6,000? Believe it or not, during the reign of Louis XIV, the Sun King, Versailles could accommodate up to 6,000 courtiers. Okay. Now we're back in the heart of Paris again. And it's time to get those feet and arms moving. Excellent. We've been exploring Paris for a while now, but I feel like there's one last famous landmark we have yet to see. It's tall, made of metal, and people can go up inside all the way to the top. It sure is an Eiffel. Yes, it's the Eiffel Tower. Are you ready to go check it out? Of course you are. Let's go. The Eiffel Tower is over 125 years old and stands over 1,000 feet tall. Sounds like my second grade teacher. Hey, let's climb the stairs of the Eiffel Tower. Ready? Let's get started. Start lifting those knees up like we're marching to climb up those stairs. That's it. The Eiffel Tower has 3 levels. You could take an elevator or climb 300 stairs to the first 2 levels. You get to the 3rd level, the observation platform, by taking the elevator. Woo! Here we go to that 2nd flight of stairs. Keep climbing up those steps. You see, the tower also has 2 restaurants, one on each of the lower levels. Keep climbing up those stairs. It may feel like a lot, but it is so worth it when you get up to the top. And most of all, you deserve to see this. You've earned it. Okay, just one more level to go. It's all the way up to the top observation level. But this one is by elevator. So let's keep our feet moving while we rise up over the City of Light. You know, they call Paris the City of Light because of its leading role during the Age of Enlightenment. Keep those legs moving. And because it's one of the first European cities to use gas lamp streetlights way back in the late 1800s. We're almost there. Keep your feet moving. And the elevator has arrived at the top of the Eiffel Tower. Great job, everyone. Okay, no more steps, but let's stand in place and hold on to the back of the chair in front of you, just like this railing, so we can raise up on our toes to see the city over the people in front of us. Wow, look at that view. And back down flat on our feet. We are over 1,000 feet up in the air and up on our toes again and looking out over Paris, France, the beautiful City of Light, and back down. Nice going. You guys are super. Back where we started. Walk with me. I don't know about you, but after all this, I've worked up a pretty good appetite. Good thing we're in Paris, showcase of gourmet cooking. But I'll pass on the escargot. That's French for something I'm not eating. This has been great walking around Paris with you. I knew we'd make a great memory. Let's do it again soon. Until then, as they say in the movies, we'll always have Paris. I can remember that trip like it was yesterday. Or maybe it was even today. When I'm traveling, I like to stretch the muscles that I've used once our journey is done. If you're standing, have a seat. Let's first lace our fingers together and push your arms out forward in front of you. Oh, boy, that feels good. Next, let's lift our left knee up and pull it towards you. Excellent. Now let's do the same with our right knee. There you go. Okay, time now for a few deep breaths. Breathe in as far as you can, raise your arms up above your head. And breathe out as you move your arms to your side. Good job. Breathe in. Paris, strolling along the left bank of the Seine. And exhale. Biking down the Champs-Élysées like in the Tour de France and visiting the Arc de Triomphe. One more time, breathe in. Hearing the bells ring at Notre Dame and seeing the incredible gardens of Versailles, and let it all out. Then finishing up by climbing to the top of the Eiffel Tower. What a view. Taking a fanciful journey like that today reminds me of all kinds of things. What did you remember from today's journey? It's always good to remember things like that. Until next time, make it a memorable day.